What's going on, guys? Chris here from Madamancer Productions, and today this is going to be the final one, but I have to talk about this camera right here, the Canon EOS R. Now, I don't want to be dramatic, but this camera has literally changed my life. Why? Because it gave me the ability to create the content that I want to create. Now, I know gear doesn't matter, but it does. And that's what we're gonna talk about in this video. The Canon EOS R, my favorite camera. And if you're on the edge or you think maybe you should go for the R5 or the R6, don't. Stick with the EOS R. But first I'm gonna unbox a little Amazon package I got. This is actually really important. Small things, but essential. So let me just, I don't know why I brought a knife. I finally have a, look at this. The 800D is pointing down there and it's fantastic. Finally, I have some sort of top-down camera angle and it's great. So here we go. I'm just constantly looking at it, make sure that the shot is clean and clear. Okay, just threw it in the background. Okay, two really cool items here. First of all, I have a SD card case because I currently keep my SD cards in this, and this, oh my God, as you can see, is not the best. This is like an ID card holder, and with this, I would like just stick all my cards in here, but this can bend and break, and it's definitely not water resistant, so yeah, glad I finally got some sort of case to keep and protect my SD cards. Now it has, what, 8 slots, so I can easily just put my SD cards in here, like so, and they just kind of stick in there, and you know, you close it, it's waterproof, and it'll keep your card safe. So this is great. So yeah, these cards I don't really use. My other cards are in my 2 cameras here. So yeah, really excited about this. Finally, I have a place to put my SD cards. Now, next thing is actually another thing that has to do with SD cards, but this is basically just an adapter that allows you to connect, what is it? SD cards and micro SD cards to mobile devices or computers. This little awesome piece of kit allows me to connect my SD card. Let's say, let me just give an example. So say I have this SD card and I just did a photo shoot with it and I want to transfer it to my phone. I would just plug it in here, unlock my phone, and then just plug it into my phone like that. And then it'll grant me access to app install USB drive. Yeah, I'm gonna have to install some apps to set this up, but really cool because I'm always on photo shoots and I don't really like to always have to rely on wireless transfer if I'm trying to transfer my photos, mainly from my Canon EOS R to my phone, because then I have to like connect the Wi-Fi, and it's cool. It's cool. The auto transfer is amazing. The EOS R, you can take pictures and they will automatically save to your phone, but A, it fills up your phone super fast because it saves all your pictures, and B, it's still just a bit slower than taking your SD card, putting it in your phone, and choosing the pictures you actually want. Because I edit on my phone, okay? Lightroom Mobile on the phone is amazing. All right, now back to the Canon EOS R. Now the body is amazing. Like I said in my previous videos, it's the first thing I noticed. It's solid. It feels like like you're holding something that's not gonna break. That's you know, it feels like a professional tool, and especially because I use it with the battery grip. Even when I vlog now, I just love its solid feel. And the reason I actually use the battery grip, because you may be thinking it is heavier, and it is heavier, but with the battery grip, when I'm trying to get cinematic shots, it just feels better to hold a bigger body. I like bigger body camera. Button layout is super easy. I know people were complaining about having to switch them from photo to video, but I'm lightning fast when it comes to like switching from photo to video with the EOS R. Like just boom, I tap the mode and the info super fast and it goes straight to photo and video. But the thing is, I don't really switch back and forth that much, so I don't see why people complain about it that much. It's not like I'm doing, all right, video, shoot, all right, then photo, shoot, and video, and shoot. I usually like do like photo, video in the beginning, and then maybe photo at the end or something like that. So it wasn't a huge issue for me. And I also got super fast at it. So even if I do need to switch back and forth, it's pretty good. Oh, actually, going back to the battery grip, the battery life. Now, one LPE6 Canon battery in the EOS R is amazing. It'll last about 2 hours in my personal use. So with the battery grip, I have 2 in there. and they just stay in the bottom part, and it makes my camera last all day, literally. And the best part is I can charge them through the battery grip, because on the side of the battery grip it has a USB-C port, and you can just plug it in with the Canon charger and it'll charge the batteries inside. The only downside is that it has to be Canon batteries. It cannot be third-party batteries, or at least I haven't found third-party batteries that work with it. So yes, with the battery grip, it's amazing. It feels like the 1DX Mark II, and I know people love that body, and I love this body. Not to mention, just for like vertical shooting, if I want to flip the camera over to the other side, I have the same buttons, and they respond quickly, and just like the original orientation of the camera. So it's great for that. Another thing, and obviously you can probably tell by this, the image quality. I love how this looks. The 1080p on this camera is crazy. It's awesome. I have the option to shoot 4K in a bit of a crop, but this 1080p wide full frame image is more than enough for me. It is sharp, and when I've done client work with this camera, and they haven't noticed a decrease in quality, because I used to shoot with the GH5 and I would shoot 4K at 100 megabits per second, and this 1080p at 480 megabits per second is amazing. Like I said, it's super sharp. It looks almost like 4K. If you punch in a lot, you can tell it's not 4K, but if you just add a tiny bit of sharpening and you upscale to 4K, which is what I do, it just looks exactly like 4K to me. But it has the workflow of 1080p, so it edits super fast. It doesn't take up that much space. I can go around for like a full shoot on one 128 gigabyte SD card. When I used the GH5, I had to carry 2 SD cards. Fortunately, that camera had dual SD card slots. This one doesn't, but I haven't had the need for that. God, I am hot. Having this big ass light next to me, as well as closed windows, and my fan is off. Man, anyways, I just want to talk about like the workflow with working with the EOS R, because when I shoot with it, it makes my YouTube experience really easy. I used to always have to worry about autofocus and then the whole color grading process, but C-Log and the dual pixel autofocus that Canon offers just makes this whole process an easy process that I can just go through. Like, I can turn on my camera, record. I don't even need to look at the LCD screen, because every time I look over, one of my eyes is locked in focus, and I don't have to worry about the autofocus not catching me, because it always does. If I move to the side, still in focus. Here, still in focus. Close, far, it's just gonna keep me in focus at all times. And actually, to show you a little better, I'll zoom in. So the depth of field is shallower, and I'm always going to be in focus with this camera. So yeah, definitely an amazing side, and I didn't realize how amazing this autofocus was until I had it. I always told myself, and as a lot of people do, the GH5, using the GH5, is that I'll just use manual focus. It's perfectly fine, manual focus, and it is perfectly fine. For client work, I still use manual focus with this sometimes. But I can rely on the autofocus, and now that I have it, it's kind of hard to go back. So yeah, it's really helped my YouTube process. And for creators, for travel creators who want that cinematic look, as you can see from here, but at the same time, they don't want to have to spend so much on a camera and get like a lot of expensive gear, this is perfect. And yeah, this is kind of expensive. It's more expensive than shooting on your iPhone or a cheap small sensored camera, but you get a full frame camera, shoots 30 megapixel still, so when you switch over to photography, you can dominate with that too. So you can carry one camera for both. Great battery life, great autofocus, great image quality, reliable, because I just find these Canon cameras to be reliable. And it's not that expensive. Okay, and especially now is the perfect time to get it. People are looking at the R5 and the R6 that just came out, which are the new versions, I guess, of this camera. And they're cool, yeah, they have the 4K and the 8K, 4K 60, 4K 120. Although at this moment they do overheat, I feel like Canon will change that in the future. But instead of jumping up to those cameras which are in the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 range, this is perfect, because now the prices are dropping for these. I picked this up for $1,300, and you can definitely find them for that price right now, which is an absolute steal. If you do like Maddie Hapoya and Peter McKinnon's YouTube videos, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but if you are, the past 2 years they've been using this camera. I would say that you did not notice that the image quality was low. It didn't bother you at all. So it's not an excuse that it doesn't shoot 4K or it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that you would find exciting, because this camera does it all for me, and I feel like it can do it all for you. So definitely a camera to consider if you guys want a full frame camera for travel videos, for professional videos, for photo shoots, for just YouTube in general. I do believe this is the best camera for content creators, rivaling the Sony a7 III. And I guess the Sony a7 III will beat it in terms of the 4K, but like I said before, I love the workflow of this 1080p in C-Log. It just works perfectly fine in my Final Cut Pro. I can edit through vlogs extremely fast. Great, because a lot of people are jumping to these high specs, this 4K 60, 120, 8K, but you realize your computer has to A, handle it, and B, you have to have that patience to edit through it, because it's not gonna be as smooth and you're gonna have to create proxies. And it's a whole other process you have to go through to get to your final video. And at the end of the day, you won't see that much of a difference, especially when streamed on YouTube. And most people are watching it on their phones, which already downscales it. So save your money, save your time, and get a camera that can do the job, because this camera can definitely do the job. I feel like I've been ranting. I'm not, okay? I do support the new cameras, and if you have the budget and if you have the computer and everything for it and the lenses, then definitely spend that amount. But this camera can definitely save you money and get you into this YouTube experience. In terms of lenses, I recommend, I'm using the 16-35 f2.8, the Mark II or 2, I think it's a 2 version, so it's the older one. Works perfectly fine for me. Autofocus is great. I do have one complaint though, the autofocus motors are a little loud, but it doesn't bother me that much, because if I'm talking, you definitely can't hear it. And in terms of audio, I'm using the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus right now. I used to shoot with the Rode Video Micro, and this is great. Definitely can, if you want to start vlogging, if you don't want it to be as big of a setup, because my setup obviously is really big because I have the battery grip and the Pro Plus. But if you want it smaller, then you can use the Video Micro and without the battery grip, and that's going to be great for you. And actually, if you want, you don't even have to use the 16-35 because this lens is heavier. You could get the Canon 10-18. It is a crop lens, so you won't get the full frame look. You can get it wide like this, and it'll actually be in 4K, but you can't do then 1080p 60 and stuff, and it kind of just gets complex. So I would stick with this. This setup could run you, if you can find them at the right prices, you can get them around $2,000. I'll be linking all the accessories and all the gear I use in the description of this video if you want to check it out. They are affiliate links, so if you purchase it, I do get a little support. If you want to support me that way, then that'll be much appreciated. This is definitely my favorite camera of 2020, and I think I'm gonna use it longer than most cameras. I've been jumping from about a camera a year when I went from the a7S II to the GH5, but this camera I think is gonna stick. It's reliable. It has not failed on me once. It is not overheated in the hottest of environments, and well, the hottest of environments. In really hot environments, I've shot like hours in direct 100-degree, 30 Celsius environments, and it's had no problems. So this is my workhorse for 2020, possibly even going all the way through 2021, unless, I don't know, I become a Canon ambassador or I get a free camera. But anyways, yes, Canon EOS R. There's no better time to purchase one. And if you guys want, I'll have a link in the description if you want it. And yeah, also, yeah, when I vlog, I attach it on the Joby GorillaPod 5K because I can hold it up super easily. And yeah, so that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, just leave a thumbs up because that helps me out a lot. I'll see you guys in the next video. Chris here from Adamantium Productions, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.